The Dictator. You probably know this movie. It might seem like just a political comedy with some very absurd scenes, but it's deeper than you think. Many political messages are hidden within the movie, and it tries to tell something that's not understood by many people. In this video, we will uncover all the hidden political messages and explain why there will never be another movie like The Dictator. But first, let's summarize the movie. The Dictator tells the story of the ruthless leader of Wadiya, which is a fictitious Muslim oil-rich country with the potential to have nuclear weapons. Western countries, especially United States, want to overthrow the dictator Alaaddin and bring democracy to Wadiya. But Alaaddin hates democracy and goes to United States to say it. And things happen after that. The movie starts by saying in loving memory of Kim Jong-il, the former dictator of North Korea. In the next scene, Alaaddin competes in a running race and shoots a South Korean competitor with a gun. Not a coincidence, I guess. In the following scenes, it's seen Wadiya tries to produce nuclear weapons, and the West is very anxious about it. It looks like very much to Saddam, the old dictator of Iraq. Western countries had made propaganda that Iraq had nuclear weapons, but after the invasion it was seen this was not the case. Alaaddin says about nuclear weapons,
and will certainly never be used to attack oh boy.
Alaaddin makes the parody of anti-Semitism during the movie. For example, in a scene we see an image of Einstein decapitated by Alaaddin because Einstein was Jewish. Alaaddin plays a video game killing Jews. His double pours urine on the Israeli delegation and he says,
Oh, that's a good one.
Alaaddin also has female bodyguards. This is probably a reference to former Libyan dictator Gaddafi. Alaaddin has every feature of a Middle Eastern Muslim man from the perspective of an Orientalist. He has a beard, a harsh accent, likes terrorists, hates Jews and women, holds hands with men. And weirdly, Alaaddin also hates blacks. He occasionally reveals it in the movie. But radical right-wing Muslims like Alaaddin would not hate blacks. It's a thing of radical right-wing Westerners. I think the movie was wrong about it. Anyway, the movie does not just make a parody of radical Middle Easterns, it makes it for the Americans too. For example, this man says,
Well, you're all Arabs to me. The blacks, the Jews, those blue tree-hugging queers and Avatar.
Is a cliche of the American right. Also, there is someone cliche of the American left. The girlfriend of Alaaddin. She produces organic products. Thinks anyone eating animals is murderer. Call everybody Nazi. Employ only third world immigrants. And she is also Jewish. The movie indirectly says every radical political opinion is bullshit and it's seen funny from outside. The movie also criticizes dictators. Alaaddin rules the country as he wishes. Change in words of Wadiya language. Kill anyone who makes the slightest mistake. At first glance, we may think that Western countries are right to overthrow Alaaddin and bring democracy and liberty to the people of Wadiya. But Western countries don't want it for the prosperity of the people. They just want it to exploit Wadiya more easily. When there's a dictator, it's hard. But when there's a democracy, buying oil reserves with private companies and stealing it is very easy. Like what they do in so-called democratic African countries. Alaaddin also knows it and says, why are you guys so anti-dictators? Imagine if America was a dictatorship. You could let 1% of the people have all the nation's wealth. You could help your rich friends get richer by cutting their taxes and bailing them out when they gamble and lose. You could ignore the needs of the poor for healthcare and education. Your media would appear free but would secretly be controlled by one person and his family. You could wiretap phones. You could torture foreign prisoners. You could have rigged elections. You could lie about why you go to war. You could fill your prisons with one particular racial group and no one would complain. You could use the media to scare the people into supporting policies that are against their interests. Briefly, the movie makes us question, okay, everything bad is done in dictatorships, but what about democracies? Is it much different? Or is it just the same thing with a very good camouflage? In the end, Alaaddin decides to bring democracy to his country, but the democracy he brings is nothing but elections, and elections are rigged, and Alaaddin wins getting 99% of all votes. But it's no longer a problem for Western countries because democracy has arrived. Like there is democracy in Azerbaijan, Russia, Turkmenistan or United States. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also like this video, Hitler's Racial Hierarchy. You can click this to watch it. See you in the next video.